All right. Welcome everybody. All right. I get weekly hiring updates. So I figured I'd share those during this. Folks have been asking about hiring. Talking to two internal candidates this week, and we'll get more, figure out if they actually want to apply or not. So with internal candidates and transfers, they have to apply and go through a similar process. I'm still getting details on that, but they definitely have to apply. So I'll find out next week whether or not they want to apply. From an external standpoint, we have a steady stream of folks coming through. You can see the status of them. Product management, we are not going to have a dedicated product manager for the memory team. That was changed last week. We are going to share product management with the distribution team. And I know they are in the late stages of interviewing someone that I've worked with in the past. Hopefully that moves through and we'll have a product, at least a part-time product manager soon. And then Tanya added, I have a test automation engineer in the reference check stage. Do you know if that goes well, what kind of timeline we're looking at for them to start?
I don't know offhand. I've had two of the three references so far. They're great. I think that we'll be making her an offer. I don't know what her timeline for starting is.
Okay, awesome. And then what are they going to be focused on? I know you and I have talked about it a bit, but for the rest of the team.
Yeah, I think that she'll be focused on helping Grant with memory and with the performance testing, which is sort of combined with and not combined with memory. She'll be a second Grant.
A second Grant. Perfect.
So you can't, no, there's only one of me.
Awesome. All right, the retro, async retro issue that we have out there closes, I think, end of day tomorrow. There were some folks that asked if and expressed interest in having a synchronous discussion. I'm happy to set that up in a time zone that will exclude at least one person, I'm sure, because of the way the team's distributed. But if there's more interest, I would say add it to the issue so we know who all is interested in doing a synchronous one so we can run through and summarize. Typically these are asynchronous, but I'm happy to have a meeting to talk about it and come up with some decisions, some changes, some things that we're going to do for our next milestone. Any questions on that one? Nope. All right, so fast boot, I'm still adding documentation to it. Need some input on it. My experience with traveling to Europe is zero, so I would have no idea where to go if we were to propose a location. I think the options on the table, if we're going with hometowns, would be Aberdeen, Scotland, where Grant is, or Warsaw, Poland, where Camille is. And I don't know if either of those are good places for us to visit and have the right infrastructure to have a fast boot for the team. I'm not sure who all would be involved. Hopefully we could time it to where we have all of our memory team hires and get everybody in. Deadline for submission is the end of July. Approval happens in August. And I would think that so as to not get exorbitant fees for travel and hotel, we would need about 2 months lead time. So that puts us into middle of October for timing. And that's what I put on the proposal. So take a look, add some inputs, suggestions, and then I can start cranking out a budget for that. Because budget is required for the proposal.
I didn't know Aberdeen was actually that high in contention. I'm happy to like have a quick look and see if this co-working spaces and whatever else what that would require for the city, if you want that, just to give you that as a touch base. But yeah, I had no idea Aberdeen was actually in contention, so I'll do that if that's what you want. That's not a problem.
The suggestion on fast boot is to try and have it in at least one of the team members' hometowns. So, you cut down on travel for at least one person. Can't do it in Moscow, can't do it in the US due to travel restrictions. So we're looking at somewhere in
Europe, yeah. Okay.
Somewhere. And if it can't be in someone's hometown, that's fine. It's just going to increase the budget. And I've seen other teams fast boots, and one was in Amsterdam, one was in Berlin, and I think in both cases they had someone that was at least driving distance to that location. So it doesn't have to be in your hometown, Grant. If you don't want us to see where you live, it's fine.
I've only just moved here, so I'm not precious about it. No,
And
that's
it could
fine.
be a bigger city outside too that's nearby, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think. I'll need to check the issue again, look at the documentation for Fastboot, because I don't know. I need to see if is there a list of like stuff things that is like would be preferred or required for a Fastboot to be successful. I guess is the thing I'm trying to figure out.
no, for Fastboots, you need to come with a goal. Like, why are we getting together? What are we going to deliver at the end of the Fastboot? And then the location, the biggest impact there is going to be budget, right? If you can cut out one person's travel and lodging, then that's going to save a couple $1,000. But I don't think, in the bigger picture, the goal is to get the team together and deliver something and form as a team. So I don't know that not being in someone's hometown is going to exclude us from getting approved for a Fastboot. That being said, I know there's multiple teams that are applying for it, so
okay,
there's no guarantee we'll get approved. And I think if we don't have all of our team members hired by then, that might move us down the list to, behind established teams, or at least teams that are completely staffed. So,
okay, that's fine. Leave with me. I'll try and at least give some more info about how we on the issue.
cool. Right. Yeah, and I guess next week we'll look to try and wrap it up so that we can submit well ahead of the deadline. And then we just, some of the folks from the memory team and the quality team had a discussion about priorities, overlapping priorities, how we can work together. Doc's there. The recording just downloaded. I'll post it to YouTube here shortly. And then Camille, you want to talk about 12.2?
I just posted that I think that we should talk about 12.2 because effectively I think we are starting that today. So it would be good to understand about the priorities and focus.
Does 12.2 start today or next week? I think it starts on the 22nd or the 21st.
I don't think that we have anything else planned for the 12.1 at this point. So
okay.
It's effectively we are starting 12.2 right away.
Yeah.
I just don't know where to start discussing that. From which angle?
One thing I was playing with this morning was trying to figure out a way to get a better board, because we do have the memory milestones board, which gives us essentially the same view that you had there, but in priority order. This is what Eric looks at. The issue here is everything that's labeled memory that may even be on another team shows up on this board. So like this caching info refs is something that another team is working on that shows up on our board. So I'm going to try and create a board that filters out things that other teams are working on. I think we need to go with the group memory label that might filter it out, but stay tuned. I'm going to work on it. Like I said, Eric has been working off of this board and shifting priorities around accordingly. So this is the priority order as Eric put it in about a week ago. And I know, Camille, you've added a few issues in since Eric added all the 12.2 milestones.
Yes, I think that like my biggest expectation at this moment is that like first we remove items that we know that like we don't have capacity to work on.
Yeah.
Second, like we assign weights, and third, we pre-assign people that would be responsible for these issues ahead of the time. I don't think that we have to do all of that right now. We can do it asynchronously, but this would be my expectations for this milestone.
Yeah, agreed. Sorry, I didn't add that to the agenda. So, agreed. I was actually looking at this one this morning, the adding API endpoint for profiling. I think that's something we should kick out of 12.2. It was something, I don't know if you remember.
It's done.
Okay.
It's just it's not shipped with the 12.1, so it's gonna be shipped with 12.2 because it's
I think it's a different issue. So this is the one, I think this is the one you're talking about. This is a new issue that I think Stan had proposed.
Can you open it?
Yeah, sorry. All your faces are in the way.
Yes, I don't think that we're gonna be able to do it.
I'm gonna push it out a couple. It was a nice to have, and that was even acknowledged by folks in comments below. And I'm going to remove you from this one. All right. So yeah, I think you and I, and we can get Eric's input on what needs to be in and out for 12.2. Like I said, this board, it isn't, as Chun would put it, we need to tighten up our board so it's a better representation of the work that we're working on right now. So I was going to work on that today, and in absence of a better representation, just come up with a list of things that I think we should be working on for 12.2. And then, yeah, we can get everybody's input on it, get weights, make sure to ask questions if the issues are not clear, and then we can start assigning accordingly. So maybe by Monday we can have that all cranked out. I have a lot of meetings today, so, and it's the end of your day, so that gives us Friday to get this cleaned up. So maybe set a goal for end of day Monday to get it all lined up. And I think everybody has something to work on right now, so it's not, we're not blocked. Any other questions on that? Nope. All right. And that is it for everything on the agenda. Any other topics anybody wants to cover?
So I think, Grant and Tanya, if you could like take a look at these items again and like kind of confirm to us what you plan to Grant to work on.
Yeah, I started a conversation in Slack. I can move it into a thread in the memory channel so that we can iron out for sure, since we kind of got cut off.
So once we have this confirmation, we could also update our boards from our course perspective, because it seems that for us, like the biggest goal right now is FUMA, on shipping that and concluding that. What we find more and more troubles finding needed resources for doing that, and we cannot really like finish that ourselves. That's the trickiness part of that.
Yeah, we'll get that updated. Certainly, we're more aligned now, so we should be able to get at least a good few tasks up there that I'm thinking of working on that aligns with performance and memory. So, and I agree. Rereading that issue that you think is the top tier, I think I misunderstood what it meant and what you actually want from that. I think it's something that's manageable and hopefully can be done for 12.2. So hopefully we'll get that done as well.
I think that at least this first issue, like we should be able to close that like in one day, because we have our data. We only have to prepare import, export, and like write documentation for it. That's it.
Yep, I agree.
So it should be very simple to do.
I agree. Yeah,
I can
export it now.
I can definitely help you on getting this done quickly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it should be fine. Like I say, my first comments were on the assumption that you're asking for the data set to be increased, which is a completely different task. It's not so much of can we just make it so the data set is easier to import. That's a completely fair enough request. And because I've went through that literally today, I imported the GitLab Explorer, and yeah, it takes an hour at least, and that is very slow. So yeah, leave it with me, and we'll get a few other tasks on there as well.
Okay, so I think the next step is pretty much like from everyone in the team and like working with us to get over the list of the issues that are assigned to Milestone, agree or disagree on getting this in and assign weights. And then like I think Craig could take a look over them and remove them from Milestone or like say that this is more important than something different. This is I think the decision after this meeting.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy Thursday.
See ya.
Thank you.